Hi, my name's Pretty Basra. Welcome to the Women Money Business Podcast. So on this episode, I wanted to talk about my mum, the entrepreneur in my life, as well as my dad, well, the female entrepreneur in my life. So my mum came to the UK when she was 23. She had an arranged marriage to my dad. She'd seen pictures of him. She wasn't overly impressed, to be fair, but you've got to do what you've got to do. And she came across the UK and she couldn't speak any English. She had gone through the schooling system in India and she was quite educated in that respect in terms of whatever sort of levels they have there. I want to say like A level, maybe college education. She came in 1983. 83? No, 84. She came in 1984. And then the following year, 1985, she had me. So she got married in February 1984. And then the following January, I was born. During that period, she hadn't worked. And she hadn't worked anyway from when she was in India. She used to go to school and she used to study, and she was at the equivalent of like a college, university kind of situation. But then when she came to the UK, and she's like, Dad had started having market stalls and they used to sell shoes. And she used to say to my dad that, I want to go and work. I want to work. I want a job. I want a job. And my dad was saying that he felt quite embarrassed about that he didn't want her to have to work. And he felt that he should be able to provide for her and she shouldn't be having to go elsewhere to work. But then she said that she was really, really insistent and persistent with it, that she absolutely wants to work. And that's what she wants to do. And I think they used to have arguments over it. And then when Dad started opening up his market stalls, he said to shut her up. He was like, do you know what? You can just go and work on the market stall then. So I was about 3 or 4 months old at that point, and money wasn't great at that time. We used to live in a terraced house. It had like 2 floors and an attic. And I remember the ceiling used to be so high. There's like, I don't know, like 17, 18 foot high sort of ceilings. It was like a Victorian terraced house. And there was no central heating. It was so cold. And Mum was worried at the time that I might get like pneumonia or something because of how cold it was. So they needed to earn money to get heating installed to keep me warm. And that in itself just so shows the dire situation that they were in at the time. So fast forward, like I said, I'm 4 months old now, and my dad's gone into partnership with somebody, and that guy has got 2 wives. Odd. But one set of wives have got girls, and one set of his wives has got boys, apparently. All very bizarre, but anyway, we move on. The one with the girls, the wife with the girls, would be on the market stand because Dad had 2. They got into partnership and they had 2 shops. So they had one in Wolverhampton Market and one in Wolverhampton Town Centre. So the one in Wolverhampton Market, my mum said that if I work at that one, and then I can try and learn to speak English, by doing that. So she's had no formal lessons, no sort of formal teaching. It's very much just based on listening and trying to understand what the words mean. That blows my mind in itself. I know when I've been travelling, I've been to, I don't know, Italy, Japan, Thailand, wherever. There is no way that I could within, I just don't think I can, I don't have that mental ability to be like, listen and try and understand that language and not be taught it and just try and figure out what they're saying. My mum speaks fluent English now, absolutely fluent English, and she has been doing for years, a good 20, well, how old? No, I'm not 20 anymore, but a good sort of 35 years she's been speaking fluent English, just learned from being. And my mum always says that her mindset was, if I make mistakes, somebody laughs at me, it doesn't matter. At least I'm still learning. At least I'm still sort of moving forward. So they used to be on this market stall, and as you may remember, if you used to go to the markets, still go to the markets, there's no heating really. It's very cold. And Mum used to take me with her to the market stand, and they didn't really have proper like baby carriers or cots or anything like that, like Moses baskets. So she used to put me in a shoebox and just with some blankets around me to keep me warm. But even still, it was still very cold. And Mum said that my dad's partner's wife and his 2 daughters used to be there. And then whenever there would be a customer, Mum would get up to sort of try and conversate with the customer. And the wife of the partner had told the girls to just knock my box when that happens. And so obviously I'm going to cry then. So then every time Mum would go and try and learn to try and speak to somebody to try and improve her English, or just not even improve it, just to learn English, they'd wake me up so that she'd have to go back to me, and that would obviously stunt her progress, because they didn't want Mum to be sort of levelling up to them in terms of being able to speak and converse, because that would make her a threat to their partnership. That's what they felt. So Mum then said that she was getting frustrated with that she wasn't, even though she was in the right environment, she wasn't given the opportunity, or the opportunity was there and it was being pulled away from her. So she then spoke to my dad and said, like, he needs to come to the market stall, and then just when I cry, just to take me, just to take me away so that she can learn and practice. And that in itself, I think, takes so much courage to come in the 1980s to a different country, but not even a different country. India and England are like worlds apart. To not have any family, she's got no family here apart from my dad. To then have a newborn baby a year into being in the country, to then try and learn a new language and try and conversate, knowing that you're probably going to be insulted or abused or laughed at, but then still thinking, I need to do this. I just think that level of resilience is just phenomenal. So she did it, she did it, and she realised as she was doing it that my dad's partner was feeling that she was a threat now, because she could not only speak, but she could outperform in terms of sales. So between her and dad, they had formed a good unit where they were sort of almost on par with each other in terms of their ability to communicate and the ability to sell. And since that day, my mum's run multiple businesses, always been sort of a front house selling, and can sell literally ice to the Eskimos. Not taught. That's what, again, just blows my mind. She's not been taught. She's not been on any sales courses. She's not been on any coaching or mentoring programs. She's not been, educated by family around her that, you need to do this. If you do this, you can sell. It's all just innate, and it's all just what she feels that she needs to do. But then over the years, she's distilled that work ethic, that drive, and that perseverance ethic into us. And probably my brother's very much sales focused, whereas he's the sales strand of her. I'm more the doer of her, in terms of just do it. If you don't know, learn. And if you learn and you're still not sure, learn some more, or go and ask someone. I'm the one that will just keep going at it until I get there. Again, I've been there, I've been there in the shoebox. I don't remember that, but obviously she does, and I've heard the stories of it. I've got pictures of it, But then when we were at school, we'd always, after we'd finished school, we'd always be brought back to whatever business I had at the time, and we're just immersed in it. Whether we want to or we don't want to be, we were immersed in it. And we've seen both of our parents just sort of pivot so many times in business to raise up to the next level and to learn a new skill like that. So I think that's what makes me fearless in certain situations, because my husband will always say to me, you can't say you can do everything. Like, you can't see something and think, I can do that, or I can do that. But I genuinely believe that I can, and I might not do it well. That's not prerequisite. Like, I didn't say I'm going to do it well. I'm just saying that I can do it. And again, I think that's come from Mum, and Dad, like both of them. They've each got their own stories, and the stories are very different, but also have a lot of similarities and overlap. But the I do it attitude, or I can do it, or I can do it better, I don't think is a bad attitude to have. And I think in a lot of entrepreneurs, they probably have that little voice in their head that says, I can do that and I can do it better. Because it's what's it called, like a gap analysis, or the need gap analysis, can't remember, because I've not got any formal business qualifications. I'm very much self-taught and sort of hit the ground running in terms of owning a business. So I've not done. So go back to when you're an entrepreneur, you see that gap, you see that niche, and you just think, you know what, I think I can do something there, and I think I'm going to enjoy it. So I suppose what my message for this episode is wanting to be is just to sort of get across that sometimes you're molded by the people that you're around, and that network doesn't have to be networking. It can be your family, it can be your friends, and just put yourself in the right circles. And if you want to become entrepreneurial, or you've got that fire in you, or you are an entrepreneur at the moment, then just make sure whoever you've got around you is there to support you and lift you up, and not to pull you down. Because you want to be around people that have got the same energy as you, because then you bounce off each other, and your creativity it's just mind-blowing, when you're around the right people. Whereas if you're around people that are pessimistic, non-entrepreneurial, sort of really don't get your vision or your values, you're not going to go where you need to be. And I don't think you need to be here, you need to be there. So I just hope sharing my story in terms of, well, my mum's story and how it's impacted me, and on a previous episode, my dad's story and how that's impacted me, may help somebody, or that might help channel them to think, do you know what, maybe that's why I feel the way I feel. That's why I've got this like urge in me that I want to do something. I want to have a business, but I don't know what it is. But just have a think about, did your parents do that, or is somebody significant to you sort of exposed to that at a younger age? Have you seen something on YouTube or on social media, and you think, I like what that person's doing, but I think I could do it with my own twist on it? Because that's what it needs. It needs your personal twist on it. So I hope that helps somebody, and please join me on the next one. Thank you for listening.